Seat 9. A quiet woman sat there, black hair slightly tangled, hoodie wrinkled, and a faded canvas bag resting between her knees. To most, she looked like another exhausted traveler trying to blend in. Then the plane jolted hard, a sudden violent shake that sent gasps through the cabin. Overhead bins rattled. A few masks dropped early. Rachel turned calmly to the flight attendant nearby and asked, "Is the pressure in the cabin falling?" The attendant, smile trembling, replied, "Ma'am, please stay seated. We're handling it." Across the aisle, a man in designer shades snickered. "What is she, some undercover pilot?" he muttered. Before anyone could laugh again, the intercom crackled to life, static slicing through the silence. "Night Viper 9. If you can hear this, the cockpit is waiting." The plane shuddered again, this time deeper, like something mechanical groaned inside its own bones. Fear rippled through the rows. A few passengers gripped armrests, others stared out the window where dark clouds churned like smoke. But Rachel didn't move. The dim cabin lights reflected off her glasses as she sat still, clutching her worn bag with steady hands. The man next to her, gold chains, flashy tracksuit, smirked. "What's with the attitude, huh? Think you're in a movie?" His buddy leaned over the aisle, laughing loud enough for everyone to hear. "Yeah, what you gonna do? Fly us to Hogwarts?" A woman in business class heels and a blood-red manicure turned, her voice sharp as glass. "Listen, sweetheart. This isn't your big moment. Some of us would prefer to survive this flight without your little performance." Her words landed like punches. Several heads nodded in quiet agreement. Rachel's fingers froze for a moment, then she simply adjusted her glasses and said nothing. The silence that followed was louder than the thunder outside. The flight attendant, Cindy, blonde curls pinned back tight, hurried past again, face pale now. She paused at Rachel's seat. "Ma'am, please. You're frightening people. Just relax." Rachel looked up, her face unreadable. "I'm not the one shaking the plane," she said softly. Cindy blinked, caught off guard, before mumbling something about backseat pilots and moving on. A woman across the aisle, wrapped in a pink sweater and artificial sweetness, leaned closer. "Honey, stop pretending you know better than the crew. Let the real professionals do their job." Her husband, red-faced, balding, eyes darting, added gruffly, "No offense, lady, but you don't exactly scream first class." A ripple of mean laughter passed through the nearby seats. Rachel didn't react. She just folded her hands over the bag again, like counting seconds in her head. The next hit of turbulence was brutal. The plane dropped several feet in one violent shake. A child cried. A man cursed. Overhead lights flickered. People began praying under their breath. Then a passenger stood, pointing right at Rachel. "Hey, stop acting like you know something. You're scaring my kid." His wife tried to pull him down, but he jerked away. "I'm serious. I'm not letting some hoodie-wearing lunatic freak everyone out." Rachel didn't even turn toward him. She just exhaled slowly, eyes fixed on the storm outside the window. The tracksuit guy scoffed again. "What, you gonna calm the clouds with your mind now?" His friend barked out a laugh. "Probably thinks the plane's cursed or something." Their laughter cut through the fear. Cruel, shaky, desperate. Rachel quietly opened her satchel and pulled out an old, beaten notebook. Not to write, just to run her fingers over the pages like they anchored her. The woman in the pink sweater rolled her eyes. "Oh great. She's journaling our crash. Maybe she's writing our eulogies too." Her husband snorted. The crowd chuckled again. Rachel said nothing. Then, another jolt. Harder. The plane dipped sharply, metal creaking under pressure. This time, oxygen masks did fall. Panic burst like wildfire. Screams, prayers, chaos. Cindy, the attendant, stumbled down the aisle shouting for calm. "Stay seated. Buckle your belts." The man in the white shirt shouted over her. Why is she still sitting there like she knows something? Somebody stop her. Eyes turned to Rachel again, fear twisting into blame. Still, She didn't move. Her hands rested quietly on her lap, but her jaw tightened, like she was swallowing a storm. Then the cockpit door burst open. A tall, buzz-cut co-pilot stepped out, face pale, breathing fast. "We need anyone with flight or navigation experience," he shouted. "Military, commercial, anything." The cabin went silent. Only the hum of the struggling engines filled the air. Cindy hesitated, then pointed toward Rachel. She asked about cabin pressure earlier. The woman with the diamond earrings sneered. "You're trusting her? Look at her. She doesn't even look like she belongs here." Rachel slowly rose, slipping her bag over her shoulder. The air around her felt heavier somehow, like everyone could sense the shift. The co-pilot's expression softened. "Ma'am, do you have flight experience?" Rachel's voice was calm. "Your altitude readings are off by 4 degrees, she said evenly. The co-pilot blinked, stunned, then nodded. "Come with me." As she started forward, a man in a tailored suit stepped into the aisle, blocking her path. "Hold it right there. You're letting her into the cockpit? Look at her. She looks like she slept in the airport." The plane shook violently again. The man held his ground. "We need professionals, not passengers playing hero." Cindy's voice cracked. "Sir, she's assisting with system calibration." The man scoffed. "Her? Technical support? What a joke." Rachel stopped, meeting his eyes for the first time. "You just wasted 2 minutes judging me," she said coldly. "That's long enough to lose a wing." He froze, and she walked past him. The cabin fell silent as Rachel walked forward, steady, unhurried, fingers brushing the seatbacks like she was taking one last mental snapshot of everyone she'd soon save. The tracksuit guy muttered, "She's gonna crash us herself," trying to sound confident, but his voice trembled. His friend smirked for the camera on his phone, whispering, "This'll go viral. Crazy lady hijacks plane." Rachel ignored them. She kept walking until the cockpit door loomed before her. Another surge of turbulence threw half the passengers sideways. Overhead bins rattled. Someone screamed. Rachel didn't even flinch. She reached the door, the co-pilot holding it open. Inside was chaos. Alarms wailed. Red warning lights pulsed across the panels. The captain was slumped over, drenched in sweat, hands trembling as he tried to stabilize the yoke. He glanced up sharply. "Who's this?" She might be able to help," the co-pilot said. Rachel stepped inside, voice low but firm. "Night Viper 9 requesting cockpit access." The captain froze mid-motion. His eyes widened like he'd seen a ghost. "My God, only one person ever used that call sign." He turned slowly toward her. "You vanished after Oregon." Rachel said nothing. She slid into the co-pilot seat and began adjusting switches and controls like muscle memory. Confident, precise, too practiced to fake. "No time for introductions," she murmured. "Your pitch system's reading false data. Actual altitude's 800 feet higher than your display." The captain hesitated. "That can't be right." "It is," she said flatly. "Or you can keep arguing while we hit the mountains." He stared at her for a heartbeat, then nodded. "All right. Do it." Her hands moved fast, toggling systems most pilots hadn't touched in decades. The co-pilot leaned closer, whispering, "Who are you?" Rachel didn't answer. Her gaze was locked on the instruments, her reflection in the glass, calm, almost surgical. Outside, thunder cracked. The entire plane shuddered. In the cabin, passengers screamed again. The old businessman from earlier muttered, "We're doomed." A voice crackled over the radio. "Unauthorized passenger detected in cockpit. Stand down immediately." The captain's hand hovered near the mic. He hesitated. Then another voice came through, colder, sharper. "Repeat. Passenger is blacklisted. Do not let her touch the controls." The co-pilot turned toward her, confused. "Blacklisted?" Rachel didn't look up. "Then start calling for rescue," she said calmly. You'll need recovery teams." The captain went pale. For a long moment, no one spoke. Then he pushed the mic aside. "Let her work." Rachel adjusted the headset, clipped it on, and started recalibrating the navigation manually. Every movement was smooth, deliberate, like she'd done this in war zones where hesitation meant death. Outside the cockpit, fear curdled into uneasy curiosity. The passengers who mocked her now sat frozen. The woman with the diamond earrings bit her lip. The pink sweater woman whispered prayers. At Rachel's abandoned seat, an elderly man reached for the old notebook she'd left behind. He opened it gently, and stopped. "These aren't notes," he said aloud. "They're military flight logs." Every nearby head turned. Silence spread like frost. Back in the cockpit, Rachel's voice was steady through the intercom. "This is 9A. Controlled descent commencing. Stay buckled." Gasps filled the cabin. The co-pilot added, "She's in command now, officially signed off." The red-manicured woman's jaw dropped. "They're letting her fly." No one answered. In the cockpit, Rachel's hands glided across the console, weaving the aircraft through violent air currents with surgical precision. On the radar, jagged mountain peaks loomed ahead, sharp and merciless. "Terrain alert!" the co-pilot shouted. Rachel flicked a hidden switch under the console. The screen blinked alive, revealing an old grainy radar system, one rarely used anymore. "Echo wave," she said. "Only system not lying." The captain stared. "How do you even know about that?" Rachel didn't look at him. "I built it." The storm broke briefly. A sliver of sky appeared through the clouds, pale blue like a promise. "You've done this before, haven't you?" the co-pilot whispered. Rachel didn't reply. The faint scar under her sleeve said enough. Outside, the engine screamed, then steadied. The descent smoothed. The trembling stopped. In the cabin, people felt it instantly, the air calmer, the chaos subsiding. A little girl clutched her teddy bear and asked, "Mom, is she a superhero?" Her mother, still trembling, smiled weakly. "Maybe, sweetheart." Tracksuit guy said nothing now. The woman with the diamonds stared blankly at the floor. The old man held the notebook close to his chest. "She's not just anyone," he said softly. "She's one of them." The engines purred, calm, steady, alive. Rachel's voice came through again, landing in 20 minutes. "Hold tight." Cheers broke out. Tears. Applause. Relief washing over fear. The captain pressed the intercom. "This is your pilot. And I mean it when I say, we owe our lives to row 9. The plane broke through the last wall of cloud, gliding into clear skies. Below them, the Pacific shimmered under the morning sun, stretching endlessly toward the horizon. For the first time in an hour, there was no sound but the steady hum of the engines and the soft whir of wind brushing against the fuselage. Rachel's hands never left the controls. Every move was exact, every breath measured. The captain leaned back, still watching her like a man who'd seen a ghost and a miracle in the same moment. Tokyo Control Tower came through on the radio. "Flight 207, confirm your coordinates. We lost your signal for 15 minutes. The captain hesitated. Rachel clicked the transmitter instead. "Tokyo Control, this is Night Viper 9. Coordinates confirmed. Preparing for emergency landing." There was silence on the other end, then a trembling voice replied. "Night Viper 9, we thought you were." Rachel cut the line. "Prepare the runway." Down below, Haneda Airport buzzed to life. Emergency vehicles lined the tarmac, red and blue lights reflecting off the wet asphalt. Fire crews, medics, reporters, all scrambling for a glimpse of the plane that had vanished from radar mid-flight. Inside the cabin, passengers whispered prayers and promises. Some held hands. Others filmed quietly, knowing this was something history would remember. The co-pilot spoke softly, "You'll have to identify yourself when we land. They're not going to just let you walk away." Rachel gave a small, tired smile. "They won't have to." The captain frowned. "What does that mean?" "Just keep the nose steady," she said. "And whatever happens, don't open that door until the engines stop." The city grew larger beneath them, skyscrapers glinting like mirrors, roads twisting through the fog. Rachel's eyes scanned every dial, every gauge. Then, at 300 feet, the left engine sputtered. "Engine 2 failing," the co-pilot shouted. Rachel didn't even blink. "Feathering prop. Reduce throttle by 0.3. Follow me in." Her voice was calm, not brave, not heroic, just certain. The aircraft dipped slightly, then leveled out again, slicing through the morning mist like a silver blade. "Brace for impact," someone screamed from the cabin. The landing gear hit the runway hard, a violent thud, then a roar of sparks as the tires fought for grip. For a moment, everyone thought it was over. Then, slowly, impossibly, the plane began to roll straight. Screams turned to cheers. Tears fell. People clapped, laughed, hugged, strangers seconds ago, now survivors together. The plane slowed to a stop. The captain turned to thank her, but the co-pilot froze. Rachel's seat was empty. The headset hung neatly on the panel, still humming faint static. The cockpit door was slightly ajar. Security teams rushed in moments later. They searched the cabin, the aisles, the cargo hold. No one had seen her leave. Only her old flight notebook remained, resting quietly on the console, open to the last page. In faint, smudged ink, one line was written. "Night Viper 9, final mission complete." Outside, reporters swarmed the runway. Passengers recounted what happened, how a mysterious woman had saved them, how she'd taken control mid-flight, how she'd vanished after the landing. Tokyo authorities investigated for weeks. No record of Rachel on the passenger list. No trace of her fingerprints. Even the black box data showed an impossible signature, a manual override code that hadn't been used in over 20 years. One mechanic swore he'd seen her near the terminal that night, standing under the rain in an old military jacket, watching the runway lights flicker. When he blinked, she was gone. They called her many things after that, a ghost, a myth, a guardian in disguise. But to the 162 passengers of Flight 207, she was something else entirely. The woman from row 9, who disappeared as quietly as she arrived, leaving behind only the sky and her legend.